Alright, so for this tutorial we will be using Blender to alter the position of an object that's inside a dictionary, or YDD, which stands for Y is the file format for PC, because GTA 5 it's a multi-platform game, and DD means it's a drawable dictionary. So we will be going to the same place where we altered the trees that you saw in the previous video if you watched it. But we will be not be using the same files because I want to spare you from watching a video that's, I don't know, about 17 minutes long. And all you want to do is alter a YDD. There is no reason to watch all that unless you really want to learn more about LODs. Anyway, we will be altering the position of this rock, which I know for sure is part of a YDD the moment we move out of a scene. So make sure to select and move it on CodeWalker. Select your finds when the rock is actually, so right here, press open, press escape. Now increase the FOV a little bit. So now once you have that selected, just move a little bit to confirm that's actually part of the object, and it is. If you want to zoom in a little bit, just decrease the field of view, and you can tell that this rock is part of, and there's a bush in here and a group of trees. But the only thing we want to do is alter the position of the rock. But instead of moving it under the world, we're going to move it upward so it's visually clear that we made the alteration to the YDD. That being said, get the file name, which is supposed to be 155 underscore SLOD selection. Yeah. To confirm, copy paste the name, copy, go to RPF Explorer, paste the name, and you should only have one. To confirm is right here. Looks like the first object on top is the rock we're going to be altering. Good. If you want to see the list of objects appearing in next to the rock and the way it's structured, you can just check those little boxes and then we'll make everything appear. A dictionary is pretty much like a Y map that has its own little world, which is placed within the bigger worlds of the game. And every single object on this world has its own bounding box. So that's how, so if you can even set everything to 0, like you see in here, to the middle of the little worlds, which is the YDD, and then declare the position of every single element in a different file. But we're not going to be talking about that. We're going to be altering the position of the rock itself. So close this, right click, export to XML, export the file to a different folder, not where the stream folder is. And to make it look beautiful, just go to open the YDD again, click on materials, save all textures, select the same folder where you exported the XML, 12 textures exported, and do it again with shared textures. Then go to Blender, access the Solums area. I hope you have it installed. If you do not know how to do that, you have a video on that. Import CodeWalker, navigate to the folder where you have the XML, import CodeWalker. Now, I have a toolbar installed that helps me simplify the process of finding textures and all that stuff. But if you do not It's for free. You can get it on my Discord. You have an invite link. But if you do not want to do that, go to File, External Data, Find Missing Files, select the folder where you exported all that stuff. And that's pretty much the same process. I just streamline the process of finding whatever I want to add textures for. So this is Blender. If it looks different, make sure this render option it's on, so you can see the textures. It still looks weird. It's because of the alpha. Is not supported by Blender, but the alpha version of the image texture format is not supported by Blender, so it looks a little weird. And I can turn that off. So there you go. Looks a little better now. But I like to see where the faces are, the geometry faces are pointing at, and so that's why it looks the way it is. Now we need to find the rock itself into the list of objects that's part of the YDD, and appears to be the first one top. We already know that because it's on right here. So it's supposed to be 155_06_LOD, which is exactly the same name. To confirm, hold Shift, click the eye, and you will see that the rock will disappear or appear depending on if it's hidden or not. I'm not going to be teaching you how to use Blender, but select it in the list and move it up. Usually you do not want to do that. You want to move it down. Do not delete it, and I'll explain it why. If you delete instead of moving it under the world, this object may be linked to a group of objects into the scene. And if you delete it, you will also alter the properties of the other objects into the YDD. So good practice will be to move it down under the world instead of deleting it. That will ensure that the texture for the game in that area is not going to look blurry or low quality. So we moved the object that we're interested in upward. Again, it's just to test it. Usually you do the other way. You move it down and go back to Solums and select the first name in the hierarchy. Export. Select the folder where you already have the XML. Make sure the selected object is checked and only have Drawable dictionary. And export CodeWalker. It should say, yeah, half a second that took to export. I'm going to close this. We're going back to the RPF Explorer. Navigate to an RPF file that you previously created. Do not alter the original file. That will fuck up your game. And go back to the folder where you exported the XML and drag and drop it into the custom RPF that's on the mods folder, not the vanilla original games files. And you should see that the rock, it's way above the other objects. So if you enable the other ones, you will see what I'm talking about. Now all you have to do next and get this YDD and drag and drop it into the stream folder where you already created the project. If you do not know how to do that, watch the previous videos. The previous video on this series, I explained how to do it. You do not have to use. You do not have to generate a Y type. You don't have to generate a Y map, anything like that. Just straight up YDD. Then you go to your localhost or wherever the server is you happen to have it, and restart it. And the moment it's up, start your FiveM client. We do not need this anymore. We're just gonna close it. No. And connect to the server. We do not need to use you. We do not need you. We already saved the XML, so there is no point on having this one. I just close it. And we're loading into the server. As you can see at the bottom, I already have a FiveM notification that that new files are being downloaded, new resource. So what you see in the distance is the rock that we just altered, the YDD. And we will be taking a look at it from a different angle. So we can tell where the SLOD tree starts. So this is SLOD 4, and this is SLOD 3 that contains the file, the YDD that we just modified, and 2, right? And as you can see, the definition of the rock changes again, and 1, and then HD right here. 1, it's HD and orphan. This is orphan. This is the highest quality of the geometry itself. But as you can see, there is no the ground doesn't look weird as in having blurry textures or corrupted or something is missing or any weirdness like that, because we didn't delete the file, we move it. And that's, if you want to not run into that kind of issue, do not delete your stuff from the YDD, just move it under the world. That's pretty much it. That's how you alter a YDD without breaking the game. See you on the next one.